us about what foundation we build our houses on. So to back up for a second, she had this metaphor that we are houses in the middle of being built, and that the rooms of the houses are kind of like the individual little pieces that make up our identity, but the core of who we are is the foundation. And that we should build our houses on something big and strong and sturdy and liable not to shift around. And what better thing to build our big palatial mansion-sized houses upon than a relationship with Christ? Because it is not going to shift, it's not going to move, and it's plenty big because he's the all-powerful creator of the universe and he loves you, and that's not going to change. Unlike if you were to build something, upon something that is small or weak or liable to change, and then it shifts out from under you and your whole house comes crashing down upon you. So she's talked about what foundation we build our house upon. I'm going to talk about what neighborhood you're going to build your house in. Because it goes to reason that if you wanted to build your big palatial mansion-sized house, and it's going to be nice, and it's gonna be a really awesome place to behold, would you not want it to be in a beautiful neighborhood? You would want it to be in a place where it's well upkept and the roads are nice, there's not potholes and stuff like that, and it would be a truly beautiful place to live. Well, I'm going to let you guys know that such a neighborhood, in my metaphor, does exist. It does have an HOA, though. Don't worry, though. The president of the HOA is a pretty cool guy. It's Christ, because of course it is. But Jesus not only is the president of the HOA, but he has given you a plot of land. He has already laid a foundation. He has set out all of the building materials you could possibly want. He has given you a code to get in and out of the neighborhood, and he's given you the keys. And he has given them all to you as a gift. And we're going to pause there for a second, and we're going to talk about a gift. So, what is a gift?
Something you receive from somebody else.
Right. At its bare minimum, a gift is something that you receive from someone else. And the thing about gifts is that there's no requirements or strings attached to a true gift. So, if you were to give someone money and then receive something, then that isn't a gift, that's a purchase. If you were to do something for someone and they give you something, that's not a gift. That's a reward for good behavior. If you were to receive something but then be asked, hey, can you do me a favor because I gave you this gift, that's not a gift, that's an exchange. So let me but there is one thing that you have to do for a gift, and it's easier for me to show to you than it is for me to talk about it. Ben, do you want a peanut butter chocolate chip chewy bar? No. Okay. No. Andrew, do you want a peanut butter chocolate chip chewy bar?
Actually, no.
No. Rosalind, you do. All right. Awesome. Here you go.
Thank you. I actually don't.
So could you have said no?
Yeah, but I like food, so.
Awesome. So obviously she had a free choice because both Ben and Andrew were like, nah, I don't want that. And then she said yes, and I gave it to her. That's all that is required for a gift is to say yes, to accept the gift. You can say no to the gift I am giving you or that Christ is giving you just by saying no. But actions speak a little louder than words. We all know people in our lives that say one thing and do another. And if somebody were to say, hey, or you would go up to somebody and say, hey, I really need your help. I'm moving. Can you help me out on Saturday to help me move some stuff? And they're like, yeah, I'll absolutely be there on Saturday to help you move. And then Saturday comes around and they don't show up, and then you have to move all of your stuff by yourself. After a couple of times of stuff like that happening, you stop hanging out with that person because they're not cool. And in much the same way, actions speak louder than words with Christ. We say yes and accept the gift, which in this case I have called a foundation and building materials and keys and everything like that. It's really salvation and sanctifying grace. We say yes by our actions and by being there, by upkeeping the house. I don't know if you guys know this, but once you're a homeowner, you have a bunch of responsibilities for your house. Like you gotta mow the grass, you gotta take out the trash. When stuff breaks, you have to fix it. Like all of these things, like it's not just a I now have this thing and that's all I have to worry about forever from now on. It's like the same thing with like a car. Like if you get a car, it's like you don't just buy a car and then everything's like you don't have to do anything now. You gotta get maintenance and put gas in it, change the oil, you get nails in your tires and you gotta get new tires, stuff like that. Like it happens. It happened to me recently. Like there is maintenance that needs to be done. So it is something that you're going to be doing over the long haul. And we can say no. We can absolutely say no. We'd be like, no, we don't want that. And we can go explore other places. And we can go to our quote unquote summer homes or vacation or whatever you want to call it. But we can abandon the mansion-sized house and go someplace else. But it will almost certainly be a place that is smaller and crappier than the house that Christ has given you. It would be like if you go on like, I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys, if you ever gone on like Airbnb or Verbo or something like that, and you look through and you guys pick out a place to go, and like the pictures look really nice, and then you get there, and it's a little crappier than you thought it was going to be. Maybe it's a little smaller, maybe it's a little dirtier. Maybe the only air conditioning that they have is a one-window unit, and it's July, and it's hot in there. Like, or it just doesn't have AC. That has happened to me. It might look appealing at first, but then in reality, it's not quite as good. And sin does that. I'm going to call, in my metaphor, abandoning your house and going somewhere else. I'm going to call that sin. Sin is appealing at first, but then you find out that it's not that great. But it is still really tempting because it does look kind of fun. So the other thing about the gift that Christ has given you, this house, is that even if you go do all of those other things and go somewhere else, the house is still there. It's still yours. Like, Rosalind, give me back the Chewy bar. Right, it's yours. It's certainly yours now. You've eaten it. It's gone. You can't give it back. Please don't give it back to me. Gross. Like, a gift is yours. Like, once it's in your possession, it's yours forever. So if it's a true gift. So the house is still there. It might be getting in a little bit of a disrepair while you're gone, but it's still there ready for you to come back at any time. And so I'm actually not going to focus on the whole let's go off and do other things and how sin is bad and all that kind of stuff. Some of you were there. I just did a talk on hell like literally 2 months ago. And that's all I did for like 15 minutes was talk about that, and I'm not doing it again. Go watch the video when I talked about hell if you really want to hear that. But what I'm going to talk about is how we kind of mitigate that feeling of wanting to go and explore other things. The grass is greener on the other side. And the way to do that is to get to know your neighbors. If you are buds with the people in your neighborhood, you just go and hang out with them, right? It's like you don't have to go off and explore other things. Like it's all in the neighborhood. So that is the real thing. We are people that are meant to be in community with one another. We are not meant to be islands unto ourselves. We are meant to be in a community to build each other up. We are to try to find people who are going to support us, who are going to love us, who are going to be there when we need them. Because we are going to run across times in our lives where stuff will come up and it will be too big of a problem for us to handle on our own. In my analogy, say like you need to, like your grass has gotten a little long and you go out to mow it and like but your lawnmower won't start. This happens. It's like you might need to go, borrow a neighbor's lawnmower, or maybe somebody in the neighborhood knows how to fix yours if you don't know how to already. Maybe you just need borrow a little bit of gas and everything will be fine. Like, these are the kinds of things that if you get to know your neighbors, you can lean on them. You can rely on them. And the other great thing about this is you get to choose who your neighbors are. Like, all you have to do is find other people that have received the gift from Christ, and they're in the neighborhood too. And you can put your foundations next to theirs. You can choose who is on your left and who is on your right. And I urge you to choose people who are going to be there for you. Don't choose the people that say they're going to help you move and then don't show up. Don't build your house next to the people that are building small and unstable houses, because if theirs crumbles, it might fall on yours. Be next to the people, be closest and build your foundations next to people who are also going to be building big, wonderful mansions so that you can be in a good neighborhood. Now, who are these people? Where can you find them? Look in this room. Look at the people in this room. Stare into their eyes. Make eye contact. These are some of the people who you should think about building your foundations next to. Because there's one thing that everybody in this room has in common. And if you're here, that means at the very bare minimum, you're trying. You're at least giving it an attempt to have a relationship with Christ. If you weren't, then you wouldn't be here. Because we love you guys, and I'm sure that you guys think I am just so cool that you want to hang out with me all the time. But I'm sure that is not the reason that you are here.
I come for the food's good.
Yeah, see, sometimes it's food. But what is good food other than a reflection of the beauty of God's creation? Think about it for just a moment. It's like you are at the very least giving it a little bit of a try.
He feeds the people.
Jesus feeds the people.
I tried avocado today.
Was it good? Did you like avocado?
I couldn't taste it.
Huh? Well,
Exactly. You can't taste it. It's like lettuce.
it's better than lettuce.
No, it's worse than lettuce.
Creamy.
Can I?
Whatever. Hey, avocados bankrupted an entire generation of people. They have power.
Avocados from that?
Avocados taste like nothing.
So we build the relationships with and keep up with the people around you, because then you are adding value not only to yourself but to the others. Build value and worth of the people that are in your neighborhood with you. Build them up, and then in those times when maybe you aren't the person that can be the supportive one and you need to be supported, then those people will be there, ready to give you the help that you need. So I urge you to think about where you're setting things up. What kind of neighborhood do you want to live in? Do you want to live in the one with Christ, or do you want to live in the not as beautiful and maybe more dangerous neighborhoods? Think about why you're making that choice. Is it because maybe you have trust issues? I know that I do. Sometimes I don't trust God, even though He has given me all of these things. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I should go try out some other things and see what's up, because maybe those will make me more happy than what you have in plan in store for me. Spoiler alert, I was wrong every time, and it led to a lot of pain. So learn from my mistakes, maybe. But think over these things, and then decide, hopefully, to go big and go home. you don't have to. It doesn't have to be or. So go big and go home with your big plan.